ब्रॉडकास्ट स्टार्ट हो गया।
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
या
yes,
मुकेश ये ऑर्डर या
Thank you.
I see Shwetank as panelist. Should he not be an organizer as well? Because, oh, sorry. Okay, I get your point.
Yeah, I am.
I'll try to share my screen because I wasn't successful last time.
I request you all, please mute your microphones, please.
So we are going for the screen sharing.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Ash. We all are on mute at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so Harinder just called and he advised that we should all stay on mute for a little bit. Just one thing, please send me the latest PPT because I think I've got a version which was one before the latest.
I think I sent you in the morning, like about 4 a.m. or something like that.
But you had to add one slide, right? I'll call you on WhatsApp. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining. And we'll be starting at 3 o'clock as in the time. But we have few of the speakers join with us. So within 10 minutes, we'll be starting. So I'll be requesting you to kindly wait. And myself, Bharat Jaiswal, I'm Regional Director here. And the topics of the discussion today would be reflection on COVID-19 situation and its impact on wider society, how technology can help us during and post COVID-19. Overview of AI, including background and application, role of AI in our lives now and going forward. Three of the speakers who are with us would be Mr. Urs. He is CEO for Gravitas Artificial Intelligence based at London, UK. We have Dr. Gotham Chaudhary. He is CEO for Genetic Solutions, California, USA. We have Mr. Swetank. He's a digital influencer based at Ranchi, Jharkhand. We have Mr. Mukesh Sinha. He's chairman for AI Council, Jharkhand Development Council on Artificial Intelligence. And we also have Mr. Sumit Kumar. He's an AI evangelist based at London, UK. We will be starting in like another 10 minutes. So looking forward to, if you people have any questions, you can send us over the chat option which is there. So I'll be opening that also. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everyone. My name is Bharat Jaswal. I am Regional Director with ASSOCHAM. I'd like to welcome you all in today's program on artificial intelligence. Referring to the stimulation of the human intelligence in machine that are proposed to think like human and mimic their actions. The term may also be applied to any machine that exhibits the objective of today's today's webinar is like AI adoption and potential in India, strength and opportunities of India in artificial intelligence, weakness and risk for India in artificial intelligence, importance of AI post lockdown for acceleration of economy, impact of impact and importance of AI in fighting COVID-19. So we have with us as expert and the panelist is Mr. Urs, who is CEO for Gravitas Artificial Intelligence London, based at UK. Dr. Gotham Chaudhary, CEO, Zenith Solutions, California, USA. Mr. Sutank, he is digital influencer, Ranchi, Jharkhand. We have Mr. Sumit Kumar, AI evangelist, based at London, UK. We also have Mr. Mukesh Sinha, who is chairman for AI Council of Jharkhand State Development. And he has been working with the So briefly, what I'll be doing, I'll be just giving you a brief introduction of Mr. Mukesh Sinha, and he will be taking forward from here onwards. So, Mr. Mukesh Sinha is chairman for ASSOCHAM Jharkhand State Artificial Intelligence Development Council. He is director and managing partner at Gravitas Consulting Limited, a serial entrepreneur with an over 2 decades of successful experience in healthcare and tech industries. That includes multinational as well as Indian companies, providing strategic, financial, and operational excellence in corporate governance, and an expert in launching new companies and products in India and global market with the spirit of entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, I'd request Mr. Sinha and welcome him to the dais, and I'll request to take it forward from here. Mr. Sinha, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bharatji, for your generous and kind introduction. I would like to thank ASSOCHAM team from Jharkhand, Ranchi, as well as from Delhi for organizing such a wonderful webinar. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's very interesting session, which is AI and you. Yes, we have been experiencing that day-to-day life, we are getting knowingly and unknowingly have some experience of AI, and all of us aware about Alexa or Google Home, right? So as for the Gartner data says that by 2022, all of us, approximately 70% of our time, we will be interacting with one or another platform of conventional AI. So it is important to know that where India do stand at this point of time, and particularly in current COVID-19 situation, what are the challenges we are facing, how artificial intelligence can help that. So we have great panelists, speakers, and moderator today. So I would like to introduce before we are going to announce the official session opening. So I have a great pleasure and honor to introduce one of our co-chair, Mr. Swetang. Swetang is a leading digital influencer and social worker, and in fact, he is from Karachi, and he doesn't need any introduction as far as Jharkhand is concerned, because his fan following is in 6 digits. So you can understand the kind of work he is doing in Ranchi and across the Jharkhand. He's technocrat as far as experience is concerned, including some experiences in the field of IPM. Previous experience he has worked with that. He is involved in the education also. So I think with his kind of knowledge and expertise, we are going to enlighten, particularly in current situation, how the Jharkhand government and the people of the Jharkhand coping with the current challenges of COVID-19, and what is the scope, even the state like Jharkhand, and of course in larger interest we'll be talking about India and even up to the global, because we have a great speakers from, apart from India, we have a speaker from the UK as well as a speaker from the US also. So Shwetank, welcome to this session. Then I have again pleasure
Thank you,
to
sir.
introduce Mr. Sumit. He is a moderator and he is a technocrat and entrepreneurship by skills, running successfully business consultancy, particularly in fintech industry for over a decade. And his company Graphitas AI has developed one AI chatbot on Corona 19. So we can see that during this presentation how is going to get having advantage on this such kind of chatbot. Then we have Mr. As. Again, he is from the UK. He is holding the post of Director and Chief Operational Officer at Graphitas Consultancy Limited. By educational background, he is a double MBA with a degree in AI as well as international business from Bordeaux, right? As it is a correct French pronunciation. So Bordeaux University as well as Lake Institute of Management from India. He led the delivery of first healthcare chatbot, in fact, and he has been a member of IBM Watson Product Advisory Group. He is having a rare talent, particularly having good blend of tech as well as commercial acumen. So, Ars, welcome to this webinar. Then we have Dr. Gotham Chaudhary from the California, USA. Dr. Gotham is a PhD in 3 subjects. In fact, he is in a PhD doctorate in science, engineering, and biomedical engineering from University of California. During this session, in fact, his key topic was robotic and AI in healthcare. Over the year, he has been evolved as a serial entrepreneur with a passion for innovation, particularly that makes a difference in the people's life. He has been some of very successful and vital industry disruptive startup. He has held a key position in a small and big corporation that expanded his experience in micro and macro vision of various product and industries. Apart from his professional background, he is a true academia also. So he is a true expertise lies in the bringing idea from concept to the market level. He has been a strong presence in academia as well, as I have discussed with you, and several technical conferences including IEEE, and he has been executive and advisory roles for many of these congresses. He has been instrumental in forging academia and industry project and relationship. So Gautam, welcome to this symposium, and all of you once again thank you for joining, including all the participants from across the country and in fact from other countries. So I would like to now hand over this session to our moderator, Mr. Sumit. So Over to Sumit. Sumit, you are there?
Sorry, I think I was on mute.
Yeah, no.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukesh Sinha, for a succinct and a very kind introduction for all of us today. I would like to thank all of you, everyone in the audience, our panelists, chairman, and also ASSOCHAM in today for today's attendance. We have an interesting topic, as our chairman had already discussed. The topic, as we know, is, I'll share my screen in a second. Hopefully my screen is visible. Can one of the panelists confirm that my screen?
Yes, it's there, Sumit.
Okay, I'll put it on full screen. So the topic today is on artificial intelligence and you. In fact, us as a whole in terms of the society, the challenges and opportunities in current and COVID-19 era. We've got a full agenda for today. Starts with an overview. We've got a small demo after that. We'll then discuss about the adoption and potential of AI in India. Then we'll look at strengths and opportunities for India in AI. We'll look at an interesting use case, again, a demo, and it'll bring a lot of theory to flavor. We'll look at challenges and mitigations in terms of AI, and then we'll move on to impact and importance of AI in fighting COVID-19, which is very topical right now. The next topic, again, is going to be very relevant in terms of how AI would become more and more important post-lockdown for acceleration of economy as a whole. We'll look at some high-level AI use cases post-COVID-19, some other areas where AI can help, and then we'll get on to the audience question. One thing that I wanted to highlight today, that given the timing constraint and also the width and the breadth of artificial intelligence topic, we will be focusing on conversational AI for today. But we would be happy to take questions, and we can take up audience views on any other relevant topics. So the way this session is going to be run is that we'll go through each of the agenda item. We have picked up some commonly asked questions, and we will ask our panelists for their view on each of them questions. My suggestion to the panelists will be that when I go through the question, the person who feels who is the right individual to address the question should volunteer, and then you can express your views, and we can kick off discussions as necessary. We are keeping audience questions right at the end, just so that we are able to cover all the topics, and hopefully this session would be of interest to everyone. So without any further ado, let's get on to the next topic. Brief discussion on ASSOCHAM needs no introduction. Has been a partner in nation building, leveraging an immense untapped energy of 130 crore Indians, and as aspiring, which I think is a slightly understatement, is already among the top global leadership in terms of organizations. 3 key focus areas. ASSOCHAM nurtures ideas to catalyze growth. They take insights into new business model and also work towards the common resolve of making India win. And that takes us smoothly into the introduction. I think we've already done this. And if the panelists feel any need to add to their introduction, they can do so in the first response they would give to any of the questions. So that takes us smoothly over to the first topic for today, which is around the overview of AI. And the first question is, what is artificial intelligence? Hopefully this should set some context for the rest of the session and also bring in some common understanding for everyone on the platform. So can I ask one of the panelists to volunteer and take this question up, please?
Yeah, I can take this one if that's okay with everyone. Okay, take it as a yes. Okay. So we'll all agree, human brain is a marvel in itself. We visually perceive, recognize speech, respond back through text, speech. We make decisions, translate languages, and all these abilities make our species stand out. Artificial intelligence is the ability to mimic human intelligence and perform human-like intelligent activities through use of machines, and the basis of which are carefully designed algorithms. Though it's not a novel concept, AI has picked up its pace again in this decade. It has a history back in the times of Alan Turing and John McCarthy. So I'm basically referring back to 1950s. After making really great progress, the technology evolution suffered with what we call as AI winters. So when further research was stopped, funding grants were stopped for reasons unknown. But times have changed since then. There is a much higher acceptance, and the countries are investing heavily in AI as everyone sees value in it. This technology, I'll say, has got a great potential and will help us not only save time, effort, and money, but also support innovation and the need to upskill, the desire to evolve, which is our species trait. If anyone wants to add to that.
That was a good summary, Arsh. Thank you very much. I think it was a good start to the conversation, and I'm sure we'll get into the detail through the rest of the session. If it's okay, we can move on to the next question, which kind of dovetails very nicely with the previous question. So now that we've got some context around artificial intelligence, can one of our panelists help us understand how AI is changing the world, please?
Hi, Sumit. This is Gotham. I can take this one if that's okay with everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mukesh and Sumit. And thank you, ASSOCHAM, for giving me and my colleagues this platform to share our thoughts. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on which part of the world you're joining us today in this truly global live webinar of ASSOCHAM. My name is Gotham, and I am joining you all today from California, USA. So the question in front of us is a little bit more elaboration of how AI is changing the world or affecting the world today. So in the last couple of decades, we have all seen that technology has been a major driver for change and transformation in businesses across the globe. As with any other new technologies, AI has generated a lot of interest globally. There are a lot of commonalities between AI and other technologies. And a simple example is we in the world of computers, we know that you need logic to create AI products, and we have to code logic on computers, and then the computer drives the logical steps to complete the tasks and retrieve information. However, there's one major difference between AI and simple logic-driven computer coding. You also give the machines a capability to evaluate situations with AI. And that is a very exciting feature. It is said that AI is and will be one of the biggest driving forces in the future times to come in the world of technology. Now let's have a little broader look at how AI is changing our world. Companies like us are working towards delivering AI products which are going to augment human efforts. This focus is driven by two key factors: reduce manual errors and allow human beings to focus on more value-added activities. To quote Forbes as an example application, artificial intelligence has been pointed at to possess the potential for more accurate medical practices. Thus, you can be sure of a more accurate surgical procedure using this framework than what is currently available by most humans. Sorry about that. I have timers running on my system too. So, for instance, Facebook uses AI technology for its image recognition. AI has also played roles in managing calendars, political campaigns, and fast approaching basically everything. And that is one of the goals that AI developers focus on, is to have AI seamlessly integrate in everyday life so that we don't notice it. Let's consider some obvious reasons why AI will become pervasive in the near future. Businesses will be using AI in virtual assistants, increasing effective labor input with guaranteed corresponding output, improving operational costs, and a lot many more things. The workforce is slowly getting to be reskilled and retrained to move in this new direction of doing things. Initially, people will get trained at their work environments, while the education system introduces teaching AI as topics in their basic mainstream curriculum. This will be needed to produce skilled workforce in the field of AI development as well, as AI applications need to keep up with the demands. Therefore, the winners in the long run will be the whole society and organizations who embrace this technology fast and start reaping early results as well as long-lasting benefits. I would like to finish this answer with a quote from AI guru and industry influencer, Andrew Ng. He says, and I quote, "Just as electricity transformed almost everything 100 years ago, today, I actually have a hard time thinking of an industry that I don't think AI will transform in the next several years." Thank you, Sumit.
Thank you, Gotham. And that was very concise and to the point. Also shows the exciting opportunities and possibilities that we have as a human race with something as strong as AI. So going back to the original point that I made at the start of the session, we will discuss a few things around conversational AI today, how it's changing the world. So the next thing that I would like to ask our panelists would be around the chatbots. And there's so many chatbots that you see these days, digital assistants in our homes. So what does the whole family look like, and how do chatbots make our lives easy as of today? How it's going to sort of become even more important in the times to come. So, any volunteers?
I can take that up, if that's okay.
Thank you, Ash. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting question. Different experts will have different beliefs about the class and family of chatbots because it's all perception, and sometimes it is based on the a particular type of activities or particular variables which we define. So some chatbots respond to questions, some do some process automation, some do a mix of both. And some chatbots communicate through richer conversations, while some are just FAQ-based bots. So also there are a few interesting fields coming up, termed as cognitive RPA, explainable AI, etc., which might change the definitions in the near future again. And there are a lot of debates about what a chatbot is, what a virtual assistant is, what are robots, and there are different ways to categorize. Okay, so I see this classification based on the type of work the bot does. And again, there can be a difference of opinions in this. I see 4 particular types of bots: agents, decision automation systems, decision augmentation systems, and smart products. So what are agents? They are chatbots that use text or voice to communicate with users in natural language. They reliably convert the spoken word into text, not just commands, and they provide accurate input for decision systems. So basically, example of agents can be call center virtual agents, technical support agents like your IT support or HR support, or any other employee assistance bot, virtual private assistants. By assistants, I mean bots which can assist you in some activity by doing it for you. The second category I see are bots which support decision automation. So these are also known as like process automation bots, process optimization bots, and decision automation systems. We can say that as well. So they use basically AI to automate tasks or optimize business processes. So that there's a flow, they optimize that. If there's a task, they automate that. And again, some examples can be like conversion of handwritten form of images and processing of that, translating voice to text and vice versa. There are a lot of bots which do voice-to-voice conversations, text-to-text conversations, and even text-to-voice and voice-to-text is an interesting area. The third category is a slightly advanced category, which is decision augmentation, that is assisting and supporting in making decisions. These are bots which use things like data mining, modeling, pattern recognition, clustering techniques across huge amount of data to produce insights, provide personalization, and predict events and make probabilistic recommendations. These sort of algorithms for decision supports and augmentation obviously get better when we have more and more data, and there's a higher chance of getting more accuracy on that when we have good and high quality data and more data. The fourth category is a much tangible one. So that is the smart product. So these are like tangible products which are embedded with AI into it. So they observe their users and their preferences to create personalized interactions with users and improve their usefulness. I'll say a subset of smart products is a mechanical robot, maybe with embedded AI, so that can interact with robots environment. For example, we see a lot of robots, drones powered by AI. Again, I'll conclude by saying that this is one way of classifying AI systems based on actions. There can be other ways, for example, intelligence-based. We can have like, if we want to classify, for example, through intelligence-based, we can say there are reactive machines which react to a particular input, and then there are machines with limited memory so that they can get the context of it, but can remember it for some period of time and then lose it. And then there's a theory of mind thing coming up, which is having super brains in the machines. And then there are self-aware machines. So by self-aware machines, I mean machines which have got consciousness. So again, yeah, there can be different ways.
Amazing. Very, very informative, Ash. And thank you very much for that. It was very relevant to the industries that we work in and how we see some changes in our day-to-day lives, especially when we go to, let's say, HDFC or similar banks, travel agencies, restaurants, and the bots are omnipresent these days and are getting very efficient. So thank you for your summarized view on that. So given that we have covered a bit of landscape with regards to AI, what is the generic or general view amongst our panelists today in terms of the key benefits that we can derive from the AI systems as a society, as organizations, collectively as humankind? So again, I would invite a volunteer from the panelists to take up this question, please.
Well, this is something which is close to my heart, so I can take it up if everyone is okay with that. Okay, so key benefits, if you're talking about key benefits, so it's AI is a technology which is a revolution. It has the potential to take our productivity notches up. We as a race are very smart, but have certain limitations, and everyone realizes that. We need to take rest. We need to stop working for some time, or transfer our work to someone if there's a need of a 24/7 involvement to get the activity going. So we can communicate, and also we can communicate on scale, but not converge on scale. Okay. So bots, which can partially mimic human intelligence, can help us here. And this is where actually artificial intelligence comes into play. AI bots are available 24/7. So that's one advantage, benefit. They don't need to take rest. They don't need a rota of shifts to keep the continuous activities going on. These bots are not only available 24/7, but also can start two-way conversations. It's important here to understand two-way conversation, which I'm referring to, because the traditional digital ecosystem is a one-way communication where you provision information and people absorb it. But AI can facilitate two-way conversation, which can let the user feel, okay, I'm talking to a near human or a human. So, and this can be done at unimaginable scales. So when I say unimaginable scale, I'm talking thousands and millions of conversations through one bot. So you can imagine the scale of it. And this is true with an exception to like face-to-face communication with a smart product, maybe a robot. If you're talking face-to-face, obviously it will talk to you. At the back end, it might process a lot of information and pass it to several other stakeholders. I'll say benefits are not limited to being available 24/7, scaled up conversations, negating requirements of shifts and cost, and the cost, effort, and time to save, which can be saved on this. I'll also say that the knock-on benefit of this is the scope which we have for upskilling and the time to think about innovation. So whatever we save in terms of time, cost, and money, we can use that for upskilling, thinking about innovation. The amount of time we save from these BAU activities can be easily transferred, as I said, for upskilling and concentrating on future innovations. And I see that as a continuous cycle of evolution. So that for me is the underlying benefit.
Amazing. Sounds very promising. Also, as with new topic, I guess we do have a fair bit of challenge in terms of bringing this to industry. Although we are in early stages, but personally, I think we are going to see a massive growth in the near future, as was also suggested by Dr. Gotham. So this kind of brings the overview topic to the end. Given that we've had some academic discussions, I would suggest we see a real life example in terms of how AI is actually helping us out in real world, tackling real situations and giving us right information and so on. So we have a planned short demo for the COVID-19 assistant that Gravitas had launched a few weeks ago and is now successfully running at several organizations globally. It is also present on ASOCHAM website. So Arsh, would you like me to sort of go to the website and then you can drive the presentation or even the demo? Is that okay?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, Sumit, so we can have the live demo.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Okay.
So this is the ASOCHAM website. The bot will come here in a second. And here we go.
Okay, so let's wait there. Let's wait there. Okay, so we're gonna showcase the COVID-19 assistant which we have developed quite quickly, and we have got multiple instances of the same bot. As all of us understand that we are experiencing an unprecedentedly difficult situation, and there's a need to collectively work to the best of our capacities to contribute as much as we can in humanity's fight against this deadly virus. So Gravitas AI, I'll just introduce the company. So Gravitas AI is a niche UK-based technology company which works in the field of AI and blockchain. And we have got a mission to empower organizations with intelligent AI and blockchain powered systems. And we want to optimize employee productivity and enhance the customer experience. We're also very committed to be a socially responsible organization, and in order to fulfill our duties towards the society within the limits of our skill sets, we are a technology-based company. So we have developed a one of its kind COVID-19 chatbot. It's called Tina, to assist people with specific and validated information from trusted source. So this is very important because there's a lot of misinformation going on around COVID-19. So it is important that we listen to the government and understand and take inputs from what has been prescribed from the trusted body. So as of now, we have developed 4 instances of the chatbot using various content sources. So we've got one chatbot which you'll see now is an Indian instance, and it contains content from WHO and the Ministry of Health and Welfare from India. We've got a WHO instance, that is a separate instance. We've also got a WHO and CDC source for US, and we've got a WHO and NHS source for the UK. Since this is a very difficult situation, we are not charging for any development cost we have incurred or any deployment fee with organizations who want to embrace the solution. And we have the capability to deploy on any website in minutes when we have the right access from the website team. We're also training the bot regularly to make sure most recent updates reach the audience, because every day the information is changing, new guidance is coming in, some more precautions are being prescribed. So it's quite important to keep the bot up to date. So you can try to release an Indian specific instant at asojam.org or a WHO specific instant at our website, gravitas.bot. Okay, so to start with, as we can see, there was a red blinking button. So we just made it blinking to gain traction. It is important at this situation that we can provision the critical information and draw people's attention at particular critical information. So when you click the button, we can see the brief introduction, which you can see on your screens. Okay, so key benefits of an AI-powered bot. So basically, they can do business as usual work. They are available 24/7, so there are no service suspension hours. Wait time over phones or emails for users who need information is drastically reduced, and they can respond to thousands or lakhs of users at one point of time. It's important for users to understand that the bot is not a doctor, but it is just provisioning information from the trusted source. So let's accept the TNCs. So if you click on I accept, please. Okay. So we have kept each instance specific to its audience. You can see that the bot starts conversation with a namaste, explains a bit about itself, and presents the emergency contact details on the top. So it's pinned on the top. So if you need emergency contact details, it's there. We have provided 6 buttons upfront so that the most sort of information is passed easily. So if you can please ask, if you can click on what is coronavirus. Okay, so here we go. We get an answer. Coronavirus are a large family of viruses which may cause illness in animals or humans, and so on and so forth. And in the answer, there's a link to the source as well. So if you click on the source, it will go to the website from which the content has been sourced. So in this case, this answer is from WHO.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can go back to the bot, please. Okay. So we've seen what is coronavirus. So I've tried asking through a button. So let me ask a question instead of using a button now. So if you can type in what is COVID-19. Okay, so we've got an answer about what is COVID-19. Can you also type in what is coronavirus? So we get the same answer as we get when we had a typed in question. Okay. So this explains that this bot will respond not only to buttons, but you can, at the same time, you can ask questions, write it up as well. I'll just demonstrate a few more capabilities regarding NLP before I move forward. So if you just type coronavirus. Again, we get the same answer. So why I'm demonstrating this is because we have asked through buttons. We did a full question, what is coronavirus? And then we have put a keyword. So this demonstrates that the NLP of the bot is very robust. It can catch up different flavors. If you ask the question in a very different way, it will still answer your question. Okay, so if you can, yeah, go on, please.
Sorry, Arsh, I was just going to add that for the benefit of audience, NLP is the natural language processing, which means the bot will interact in your natural language, in this case English, but we also have multilingual facilities in a lot of our products.
Okay, thanks for that, Sumit. So if you can click on what are the symptoms, basically, symptoms of COVID-19. Just click on that, please. There we go. We get to answer about the symptoms of COVID-19, and we get a few more options. We have created some good user, try to create some good user experience, try to make it more engaging. As you can see, Tina is typing while she pulls up the next answer or the next part of the answer. So we've got 5 options at the moment. We can either ask a question or we can just choose from the button. So if you can click on COVID-19 transmission, please. Again, it gives us a good answer about COVID-19 transmission. How does it transmit? And WHO is assessing ongoing research onto ways COVID-19 spread and will continue to share. They will share updated findings, etc. So if you can click on prevent the spread of COVID-19, it's quite important after understanding how it's transmitted to understand how it can be prevented. Got an answer about the prevention mechanisms, what you need to do, what you don't need to do. So you should avoid touching eyes, nose, mouth, stay informed, self-isolate, follow advice, etc. And again, we've got a few more options. So if you can click on awareness material. So gives us an answer with a few awareness material links. So we've got the web page from Government of India. We've got the WHO website there, but importantly, there are some videos as well. Videos which Government of India is trying to create awareness about. So we have just included a few links here to demonstrate. So in the actual, like in the bot, in different sort of answers, we'll have different sort of videos which Government of India has prescribed for people of India. So if you can click on any of the videos, maybe salute Corona warriors. We want to salute them.
थैंक यू कोरोना वॉरियर्स।
बेटे आप लोग जल्दी से घर जाओ।
थैंक यू सर।
हाँ बेटा जाओ, घर जाओ।
पूरी मेडिकल कम्युनिटी खड़ी है आपके लिए ढाल बन के। हम हैं कोरोना वॉरियर।
मैं हूँ कोरोना वॉरियर। मैं हूँ कोरोना वॉरियर। हम हैं कोरोना वॉरियर। थैंक यू कोरोना वॉरियर्स। थैंक यू शुक्रिया। गुड जॉब। थैंक यू। Thank you, Corona Warriors, for saving us.
Okay. So you can see that there's a video link. Clicking on the link, we can see the video. We can get the message. We can expand the video. So that's the capability we have provided, so that we can expand, come back to the same window, so that the chatbot conversation is not lost. Okay. So moving ahead, then. So there are more sort of question answers which you can go through. And so we've got all that information in this. You can try it at shom.org and try to find the answers, stats, most recent updates, more videos, etc. Importantly, information about the Arogyam Setu app and so on and so forth. So overall, a good single source for of truth for COVID-19 related information. So I'll hand over to Sumit.
Thank you, Ash. Good, useful demo. Hopefully, this should bring to life the discussions that we've had in the first section. A quick reminder to the panelists, I think we are slightly overrunning. We've got only 34 minutes technically left because that would leave us with a little bit of time to get audience questions. With that in mind, we can go on to the next section, which is around AI adoption and its potential in India. Quite relevant, especially the current scenario and how we see India in terms of AI maturity and potential. So can I again request one of the panelists to pick this up, please?
Sumit, is it okay if I answer that?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Right. See, till now we have discussed that how AI is transforming the world. But as far as India is concerned, I believe what we see today is only the tip of the iceberg. AI as a technology depends on data, processing of the data, computational power of the machines. But apart from that, more important, it depends on the deep talent pool who can learn this technology and benefit it to the businesses as far as and also to the society. As an economy, India is blessed to have a young, hardworking and smart working population. We have emerged as a key player in the IT across the globe. We don't need to talk about that much. Therefore, we have strong foundation to build our fortune in this field. Additionally, we would also need to spread awareness about the capabilities of this AI across the industries in our country. AI can largely implemented in commercial perspective and reasonably in the small scale. I think the key areas in which this AI can be applied and it will be benefited, the healthcare. In the healthcare industry, it will definitely increase the affordability of quality healthcare and access by the public. It will also help in agriculture by increasing the income of the farmers and the productivity, and definitely it will reduce the wastage which is being done by the farmer till now. In education, it will definitely improve the quality of the education. It will also help in smart city infrastructure. It will connect. It will help in connecting the burgeoning urban population, and it will also help in financial services. It will help us in knowing about high volume transactions and also provide with accurate historical records and quantitative nature of the financial world. So if you ask me, it's very much helpful in India.
Good summary. Thank you, Shwetank. And obviously, with the talent pool that we have, that was one of the important points you raised in your answer. It is hopefully going to see or help us in driving the changes required to build an infrastructure more conducive for growth of new technologies such as AI, and help us emerge as global leaders. So, what do you see the most challenging aspect in terms of applications of AI from an Indian perspective?
I would like to take this once again because I have answered the previous one. So I would like to answer this one also, if it's okay with everyone.
Yes, please. Yeah, please carry on.
If we will look after the government reports of Indian government, we lack specifically in few areas when it comes to application of AI, like lack of broad-based expertise in search and application of artificial intelligence. We have absence of enabling data ecosystems, and there is a concept that it is very high resource cost. The cost of this AI is very high, and there is no awareness about artificial intelligence. And then definitely privacy and security, including the lack of formal regulations in India for this. And there is no collaboration between the government and the private parties for application of artificial intelligence. So we need to take care of this when we talk about the challenges in application of artificial intelligence in our country.
Thank you, Shwetank. I'm pretty sure you probably meant that the collaboration opportunities and the contributions are lacking, but obviously there are opportunities for the governance bodies and also for the private sector to get more involved. So thank you for that. Thank you. So again, quite connected question. What is or rather, what are the three things that Government of India can do, should do, to leverage the potential of AI at its best?
I can take this up if okay with everyone.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
So there's some basic things. So basically, to embrace, adopt, and use a technology, you need to manage your existing resources well first, upskill them, and then expand the reach of technology, support innovation through R&D, and build all of this into an agile, iterative, and incremental skill set with enough flexibility to adopt at various stages of the journey. You'll have a long journey, so you need to be very adaptive, very flexible, continuously generate incremental value, and keep pulling resources into it. So in my understanding, top three things that the Government of India they must be concentrating on it. In my opinion, they must do to leverage the untapped potential of AI is to introduce artificial intelligence into college curriculums and focus on research and development. So I'm aware that there's some institutions which are doing curriculums, but what I'm talking about is like at a much more basic level as well. So I'll come to that. Leverage the existing information technology setup. So basically, we have got a spectacular information technology setup in India. So leverage that. Encourage adoption of technology by businesses. So we've got Make in India. We've got a lot of businesses running in India, a lot of startups mushrooming. So encourage adoption of technology, AI, to benefit and optimize their productivity. I'm a very strong believer of you reap what you sow. So to construct a strong, stable, and everlasting building, the base needs to be very strong. So stats can be, and in my opinion, should be a very key part of school curriculum. Artificial intelligence and ML can be one of the courses that can be taught in colleges with practical learning experiences. It's important to have practical learning experiences to get industry ready. And I'm aware, again, I said colleges are doing that, but that can be scaled up. We need to invest and focus heavily on AI research and development. There need to be more institutions, more people, more capital being invested into that. And we need to leverage the brilliant IT sector presence we have. We provide IT services all across the world. So that itself is a boon. So we need to really leverage that because you've already got the base there. So strategically, we should also look at other benefits of AI apart from the revenue churn, so which the traditional software business does. So this technology has a lot of potential to optimize business processes of companies in India, help them save of time, effort, and leverage the saving towards innovation. I hope that answers.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite an interesting topic, very broad as well. But thank you for the summary. I think it covered most of the relevant points. So moving on to the next section, and just a reminder to the panelists, we've got 25 minutes or so left. This is around discussion on strengths and opportunities for India in artificial intelligence.
Yeah, just for a second, Sumit and all the panelists, we have got a couple of questions, so at least 5 to 7 minutes we should keep aside for Q&A answer session.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So let's get on to the next question, and then I'll also do some calibration in terms of how many more questions can we cover in the remaining time. What do you consider as the biggest strength of India or strengths of India to emerge as a key player in AI space globally?
I think it's a connected question. Yeah, I think it's a connected question. Maybe I'll take it.
Please.
Yeah, so I would say availability of human resource, affinity to mathematics. There's a lot of graduates to engineering and maths as a core subject in that field. And that is the basis of ML algorithms. And the third, I'll say established IT businesses, as I just said in the last answer. We have a very large young population, and a good percentage of our population works in information technology sector. About 7% of India's GDP that comes from IT services and BPO, which is about 0.2 trillion USD, and that is enough to reflect, in my opinion, the scale of operations of Indian IT companies in global scenario. And if these companies upskill their workers in AI, there's a huge market opportunity standing in front of us. And also, given strength in advanced IT sector and the strength of favorable demographics, so India may seem and more equipped for workforce disruption. So that is a key focus area. That can be a key focus area that AI will bring. And but we need to be conscious that if we don't take right steps at this stage, so large numbers may soon convert from potential assets to liabilities. There's another stats which I was reading about it basically. So almost 1.5 million engineers are pushed into Indian job market every year, and majority of those are employed into software industry. And if you compare that with the population of any large size European country, it's almost 2.5% of their total population, of the likes of Germany, UK, France. So imagine if engineering curriculum is powered with AI modules and the students are given practical experiences during their course. And even if 5% of these students take interest in the AI field going forward, we'll be generating an intellectual capital of an Infosys or TCS size every 3 years. Imagine the power. I'd like to quote some more stats to give the broader view. So Tractica, I will quote, I'm quoting Tractica, it's a market research firm. So it says that the global artificial intelligence software market is poised to reach about 126 billion USD by 2025. And also Gartner has got his own predictions of global value generation through AI, close to 5,000 billion USDs. Those are massive numbers. So by upskilling the existing resources and training the new ones, the opportunity, in my opinion, is twofold. One, capture the global revenue of the exponentially growing AI market, that is more software business from the world, get more money in India. Second, leverage our own skilled population to derive value in Indian businesses to optimize productivity and enhance customer experience, and thus be more productive.
Okay, sounds good. Just had a quick review of the remaining topics that we've got. In total, we've got about 10 more questions or areas to cover, one demo and then closure, and also audience questions. Since we will be limited by time, so I'll start handpicking some of the questions now, if that's okay. Especially where there are overlapping areas, I would suggest that we skip past them topics and come back to them if we would have time at the end. Hope that's okay with everyone.
Yep.
So I think out of the bottom two questions, if we can answer the third one, which is, in your opinion, which sectors in India will be most benefited by AI, that would be quite helpful. Fourth question, we've kind of discussed it in different flavors in other topics. So any volunteers who can give us an overview, please?
Hi, Sumit. I can take a stab at this one.
Thank you, Gotham. Yes, please.
Okay, so the question is, in our opinion, which sectors in India will be most benefited by AI? And knowing that in the next 5 years, AI is going to be a critical part of almost all sectors and facets of our society, not only in India, but all over the world. AI is actually slowly getting accepted in various sectors of society as of today. We may or may not see it, but it is happening in the background most of the time. But it's still at its infancy, because when it comes to adoption into mainstream applications and businesses, it's still at its infancy. So we can easily spend large amount of time if we were to try to mention and discuss all the sectors. But with respect to time, we just want to name a few sectors that we will see the value and benefits of AI. Number one, obviously, the information technology and the software communication sector, healthcare sector, financial sectors, education sector, transportation, large and small scale industries, and the social, legal, and justice sectors. There are also other sectors like the basic materials, consumer staples and discretionary materials, energy and utilities, real estate, and many, many more such sectors. In addition, as we progress into the AI era, new sectors will get created and emerge that we don't have clear knowledge of right now. So there are things we don't know what we don't know. So just to dive a little deeper, most of these sectors have businesses, and each of these businesses have two directional processes and systems. And as my colleague Ash had explained previously in one of his sections and questions, there are external customer-facing aspects which the outside world sees most of the time. And then there are the internal customer-facing processes, what the employees and the inside departments of a business will see internally. AI applications can be highly effective in both such directional internal and external facing processes and departments of most businesses. Some examples of external customer facing departments would be customer service, product services, information and training, various complex end user systems and processes. And AI can help by giving a better quality outcome, reducing and managing cost, size and volume of information, and simplified outcomes of complex systems. Some of the internal department facing ones were AI systems, like the example that you saw before. It would be highly effective in enterprise systems like SAP, CRM systems, documentation and report generations, supply chain management, HR, payroll, internal billing, invoicing, etc., etc. So this was just a very quick, brief overview of different sectors in India that will have a profound effect and benefit by AI.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gotham. We've got a small use case which we would have demoed if we had enough time. But given we have 20 minutes, give or take, before the session ends, I would strongly recommend that attendees to sort of visit this chatbot. It's an independent open source bot that has been developed, and it's if you Google Mitsuku, you can go in there and you'd see how interactive and how engaging this bot is. If it's okay with the panelists, I would suggest we skip through the demo. Okay, so that sort of brings us nicely onto the challenges and mitigation section, and hopefully we can cover a few questions here. The first one is quite pertinent. I get this question a fair bit in the UK or in other conferences wherever I attend, the non-AI conferences. So it would be interesting to get a view from our panelists about the threat that AI poses, or there is a perception about AI posing threat to humankind in terms of jobs and the wider aspects. So what is our opinion as a group? Do we think it's a real threat?
I can take that up.
Sure, Raj, please. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, I'll echo what you just said, that this is quite a common question, whether it's an AI or a non-AI conference. And I've been asked this question multiple times, like in any conferences where I'm speaking or attending. And I understand this concern, and and I totally agree. It's very natural to have it because this is a very difficult, different sort of, not difficult, but different sort of technology. We are continuously evolving as a race and have seen astonishing changes over the course of time. And each major change in behaviors, patterns, or ways of working has taken us really miles forward. I'll not go too deep into history to answer this question, but just touch upon a few important things in the IT world's history. So we've seen the age where the world was hesitant to adopt computers as people feared that their jobs will be lost. But the reality is that computers created more jobs than people lost. In the computer era, we have really experienced exponential growth. A lot of BAU work was done by computers and is being done by computers and will be done by computers, and which has helped humans concentrate on automation. The next thing which came up was evolution of internet and emails, and that was really a revolution. But it didn't eat up the postman's job. Rather, it helped exponentially increase conversations. So post office is really still relevant. The only way they work, that has changed. And the load of the growing population's communication needs, that has been shifted from their shoulders. Similarly, we've seen ATMs and payment gateways, and again, they have helped us in managing a load of bank officials and helped them concentrate on improving banking services. So provide the real customer experience rather than focusing on the BAU jobs. So if I take an example of a software background, so we are now in an era where we work with infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. But really, I don't think this hasn't taken the decade-old software job of writing standalone applications from scratch. We are in the world of now containers, Dockers, and Docker containers, microservices, API connections. So the true story is that developers have evolved and upskilled themselves with the advancing technology. We are able to solve business problems at a greater pace because of the evolution we have. I'll quickly quote a couple of examples from Gravitas AI. So we have reduced our front-end application deployment exponentially. It is literally a minute's job now with the right access to the website, as I said in the demo. And this has definitely not made the job of the person who does the UI dev and deployment redundant. But what they are not doing is they're concentrating on bigger things, like how to make it so easy for the client so that they can manage their branding, fonts, etc. Through the UI customization, through some customization which you can do in the backend, and provide it to them so that they can handle it. So that's reducing hassle, and we are nearly there. Some similar innovations we have done in the backend in the NLP side, which is RIP. So we have reduced the time of content curation for AI applications by 70 or 75%. And again, that has left time for content curators to focus on developing richer conversations, more robust conversation flows, more human-like natural language conversations. So again, that's that's upscaling, that's moving forward. So every time a new technology comes in the market, it's obvious, and there will be talks about it taking up jobs. But in the past, we have always experienced three things: ease of doing business or day-to-day work, opportunity of upskilling the manpower available, and the time and effort saved to focus on innovation. I think,
Excellent.
yeah.
Thank you, Arsh. Very good answer. I think it's also, it did highlight, your answer did, that in terms of the new technology, it should take away the burden from the working population, the employees, and the frontline workers in a lot of cases, from doing admin activities to delivering more value-added activities. So that I absolutely love the key message there. So thank you. We've got, again, in the interest of time, I would prefer skipping some of the questions here. There is a very technical question. It's an interesting question, but I suggest if we have time towards the end, we should come back to the third point. I would prefer going to the next slide, because this is very, as of now, kind of topic, and let's have a discussion on this. So we all have been facing challenges in terms of working from home, locked in, not being able to go out anywhere, and a lot more, which kind of are fundamental to human existence as well. An unprecedented situation. So my question to the panelists would be, how do you see the role of AI in these challenging times? And how do you see tech and AI, more specifically, are being used to find a cure for COVID-19? Any takers?
Hi, Sumit, this is Gotham.
Thank you, Gotham.
Yeah, let me try to explain this a little bit, this question. Okay, so
Sure. Yeah.
it's we all know that this is an unprecedented situation, and it has brought the entire human race to almost a standstill. And it's like a global reset button. And we also know that there is a tremendous amount of effort that's being made at the local, regional, national, and global scale. And it's been seen in various sectors: socio-economic, financial, healthcare, infotech, biotech, pharmatech, everything. So obviously, AI can help in all of these efforts. So if this question said that finding a cure for COVID, but I would like to point out that it's not just a cure. It has cure and after cure, two sections, and cure itself can be in two different ways to classify the efforts. One classification would be efforts to manage the current situation, what we can call the now situation. And the second type of effort would be somewhat predictable situation that we can call needed soon efforts, right? And also, some people say that the efforts to fight the COVID-19 infections directly, and there are lots of efforts to manage the unfavorable situations that has been created due to this COVID-19 situation. But no matter how we slice and dice all of these classifications, AI can help in all of these efforts. So let's talk about a few real life current situations, right? The now situation. The biggest effort is managing the current situation is trying to control and reduce the number of cases and deaths. This is the topmost number one priority, obviously. And for that, we are all under lockdown and practicing social distancing. And this can be classified as a social effort. And then there are big efforts to develop methods to test for COVID-19. And not only developing the test, but setting up testing centers, then collecting patient data, keeping and reporting accurate and dependable data on these cases and on the deaths, all the way from local to a global level. These are all huge efforts in financial, healthcare, infotech, biotech, and pharmatech companies. And these are also towards fighting COVID-19 directly. AI can, and already in some cases helping in developing these, doing these efforts. Example, AI-driven smart apps to help with social distancing. Bio and pharmatech companies are using AI right now to do predictive analysis for testing methods. Testing centers are using AI to share data and knowledge and help understand the virus, which in turn helps improve the testing methods and hopefully a vaccine. So we see that AI can be used to collect and report data in a meaningful way by taking many local constraints, people movement, travel, etc. into consideration. Then there are multifaceted efforts being done to manage the unfavorable situations that has been created due to COVID-19 virus. Examples are maintain food and other essential supply chain management, financial aid for immediate financial hardship relief for people who have lost their daily income, safety and security during current lockdown, etc. These are all economic, financial, social, and financial efforts which are being done to manage this unfavorable situation. There are many more examples in this section. AI can be beneficial to each of these. For example, AI can be used to manage, collate, report, and predict supply chain management. AI can be used to automate, speed up, and improve accuracy of application processes, decision making, and approval processes, automation, and disbursement of funds for these financial aid programs, which is rather critical because during this current situation, the whole goal is to put money in people's hand, and there is extremely high number of applicants, and people need the funds right now. but there is not enough manual resources to be able to handle all these applications accurately and on timely fashion, and they are mostly all under some form of lockdown and working from home. So AI and some form of AI and automation helps. Another example would be managing near future situations, like finding a vaccine or a cure as soon as possible to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. This is also topmost number priority right next to controlling the spread and deaths, but both of these efforts are being done by different sectors and groups of companies. Many small and big bio and pharma tech companies, universities, labs, science centers all over the world are working relentlessly on trying to find a cure to stop this virus. Some big and high-tech companies are already using AI to do big data mining, large-scale modeling, predictive analysis, and many other steps to find a solution. And this not only puts their effort on a much faster track, but also allows them to reject failures faster, learn from these failures, and move on to the next effort with higher probability of success.
I'm sorry, Gotham. We are running short of time, so may I request you conclude this answer, please? Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. AI can be used to automate, speed up, and improve accuracy of all of these processes that can help bring a cure and stop a spread to the COVID-19 virus.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. A really good summary. We do have a lot of other things on the agenda, but because of the timing constraint, we will skip these sections. We've got 7 more minutes remaining, so it's worth sort of going to the audience questions, and we will come back to some other slides if time permits. Unlikely, but we will pick up the questions now.
So Sumit, I have forwarded a few questions from the audience. Can you ask the answer from any of the speaker?
Absolutely. So the first question that we've got from the audience is, I think we've already answered, what will be its effect on employment as at present job of people are losing their jobs and AI will worsen it. So we'll not go into detail into that, but may I request the audience, the member of the audience who's asked this question, if they need further information, please get in touch with us. Next question, very interesting. What is the infrastructure requirement in health sector, manufacturing sector for implementing AI? I'll just kickstart this conversation, and then I'll hand it over to the panelists. So the short answer is depends, and it depends on what you want. In a lot of applications, your infrastructure cost would be next to nothing in terms of adding new things in your premises, because majority of the AI applications run on cloud. So you pay as per your usage, and therefore you reduce the entry cost, so to speak, with regards to AI. Our panelists, do we have a view on that?
Sorry, I was on mute. So just to quickly add on that, so yeah, as Mr. Sumit said, that the infrastructure cost is really less. So it's really to the tunes of decimals in terms of dollar values per conversation and those sort of things. So with cloud technology, definitely we can scale up, build it, use it for larger audiences, have more robust infrastructure setup, which is secure as well, but at a very low cost.
Thank you, Arsh. Any more views before I move on to the next question? Okay. 4 more minutes remaining. I think we'll be able to take one more question. There's one around what is the cost incurred. Again, short answer, it depends on what you want. may I again request the member of the audience who asked this question, if you have specific query, please get in touch with us on email, and we'll try to help your organization with A, the answer, and also hopefully with the solution. I think the final question, which is quite important to discuss, is around, is India ready for AI, where even large parts of population is still unaware of basic computer education? We have answered this question, our panelists have, in response to one of the questions. Essentially, there is a challenge that on one hand, we've got the issue of access to computers and wireless and the rest of infrastructure. But on the other hand, we also have proven our mettle through our experience and global presence in terms of the IT sector. I don't have numbers to hand, but I feel that IT sector is one of the biggest contributors to the GDP in the Indian economy, and therefore it is quite relevant. It is available in terms of a skill for people to pick up, and also is relevant for the students of today, because we have lakhs and lakhs of students who pass out every year. And so the skill set is available for them to pick up and sort of move into the job market in a more effective, in a more fast-paced manner. Any thoughts?
Just to add one more line. So I'll echo the sentiment which Sumit just said. I see this as an opportunity. It's audience available which has no bias towards technology. Fresh intellectual capital can be created, and a much more robust resource pool can be created, which will help India advance quickly and at a pace.
Great, thank you, Ash.
Thank you, Sumit. We have left out with only 2 minutes. So because of shortage of time, I think we have great eminent speakers and with their knowledge and with the discussion on webinar, I'm sure a lot of participants must have got their queries answered. If still some questions have been left out, they can always ask with the organizer, SHM, as well as Gravitas. So Sumit, can you just have email IDs? Yeah. So you have on the screen 2 email ID, hello@gravitas-tech.com or bharat.jaiswal@shm.com. You may ask any questions, and I assure you our expert will revert back. So once again, thank you very much for all the speakers, all the participants, and overall, thank you very much for SHM for such a great and wonderful platform. And I'm sure most of us enlightened the kind of discussion we had, and speakers particularly from the US, Dr. Gotham, thank you very much. And since you are working on the healthcare, so probably government of Jharkhand or India might require your expertise in the future. So we'll come back to you. Ars, yes, you have been expert in this field, and I know one of your associates are working some product related to COVID-19, something parallel to or maybe slightly different as far as Arogya Setu is concerned, because Arogya Setu is more about the crowd management, and another product you have discussed with me, it is about the affected person. So we might require your help. We'll come back to you. Swetank, thank you very much. And of course, Sumit, it's an excellent moderation of the session. So thank you very much. On the behalf of SHM and SHM AI Council, once again, thank you all of you, and requesting you, appealing you, be inside, keep safe, and help your countries wherever you are, whether you're in India or UK or US, be safe and It's just question of what time. I'm sure we'll come back with our normal life very soon. Thank you very much to all. With this, I announce the closing of this session. And thank you, Harinderji. Thank you, Harinderji, from the headquarters SOCM. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.